Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn about Angular version 17 updates. So here we target for what are the different types of features which came in Angular 17 and what became stable and what became deprecated and what going to become stable. All these cases we will be learning over this video. So one of the thing which I saw from here in this whole screen, you saw hydration, you will saw something like new logo branding, and there is a playground embedded tutorial, deferrable views, server-side rendering, new control flow syntax, optimized performance and data usage, updated API and CLI references, signals, and view transitions API. So all this we will learn in depth what's happening over here without a coding. So in this video, I'll target only the theoretical approach of this particular updates. In the upcoming video, I'll show you how exactly these new form controls or whatever related to the coding part which has been changed. I'll show you that in the upcoming videos. So let me quickly jump into my presentation. Here the first slide shows that improved documentation with Angular Dev. So this is in beta version, so we are not completely engaged with this tutorials. That means it will not have all the concepts of Angular, but it may be improved in the future as well. Where I can find this particular documentation, it is Angular.dev. So let me go into the browser and show you what is that. So this is Angular.dev. Whenever you want to search something in this application, you can just go and search with your keywords, and whenever you search, it will show you some documentation. For example, I am going with reactive forms, and you can see it is showing all the docs like forms in Angular, typed forms, forms in Angular where we use form validation, setting up the reactive forms, everything it is showing on the top level. So this way we can search the documents and we can go to the appropriate document. Let me click this. So it went to the appropriate document and it is showing you what exactly with an examples and complete details about your concept. So now let me go into docs section. So docs section is something like it has been segregated into many major concepts, and each and every major concepts will have minor concepts like this, and whenever you click on any of this, so it will show you some set of snippets where you can use them and try to understand by using that example snippets. It is very useful and it is very user friendly to understand this documentation. And let me go into tutorial section. Here what you can do is, till now we don't have any online editors to run this Angular. That is, we have Stackbliss, that means third party applications, but now Angular embedded this embedded tutorials in our application, that is Angular.dev, where you can start your coding immediately. So build your first Angular app locally via npm. If you want to do it locally, you can go with this and it will give you some steps. Let me go with the coding part. Let me click on this. Now if you see, welcome to Angular tutorial, and you are seeing all the tutorial details, and here you have something called as app component.ts. You can write your app and it updates in your preview. So we can see that as well, and whenever you click on the download, it downloads the code from this particular app. And if you see here, when I started this, it ran a terminal over here and it is building our application, and you can see that in the localhost 4200. Let me go into localhost 4200 and hit enter. Now it was not visible. Why? Because that is running only here inside the preview part, not in our system. So let me change something over here. Welcome to Angular. This is Angular 17 updates video. I didn't saved anything. When I stop typing on this particular editor, it automatically runs our preview. When I start and continuous typing, it will not run. When I stop typing, it immediately runs and shows you the preview. So this will be used only for learning purpose, but not for whole application or the project level purpose. And you have something like a terminal where you can generate or create our files by using our commands, that is ng generate commands or ng commands. Now if you want to go in a sequence, you can go by using these arrow operators, and when I click on this, it will show all the concepts and you can directly go to any of the particular section. So that's about your tutorial section on the left side menu, and there is something called as playground. Let me go here. Here you will not have concept, but whatever the experiments you want to do, you can do over here, and you can add a file and link up one to another. And you can see here this is a large amount of code which is already present here, and there is an output over here, and that there is a terminal. It looks like side menu of that particular tutorial. If you go into tutorial and go to start coding, you will be see this part, and this part is directly available in the playground. Let me go into the playground. Here this playground installs all the dependencies for us, and it starts our preview. So now I can use this playground and I can update any of the code. Let me go into the references. So here in the references you can see lot of things like decorators, directives, elements, and also features like ngif. So they have been segregated. If you see this, these enums, functions, and features, that means what are the features given by Angular, that comes with ngif, date pipe, form groups, rotor link, all these were added over here. And these are something related to the animations, and these are related to animation slash browser. Like that, you have n number of things which you can use, and which gives complete reference of your Angular. So whenever you want to know something about differ block fixture, let me click on this. You can see that differ block fixture, and it will show all the content over here. So that's about your API reference block. And here we have something called as theming. So let me use the system theming, and let me go with the dark theming. So you can convert your themings also based on the visualization you want. And let me go into the light. So this is the light, and if you take the system, whatever system is using, it will take the default value of the system. So that's about your Angular.dev, and it's still going on, and it's still in a beta version. We can expect some more documentation added in this particular Angular.dev. Let me go into the presentation back. So now we understood what they have improved in Angular Dev, and let me go to the next slide. So what they have improved in standalone components. Actually speaking, from Angular 17, standalone became more stable, and it became the default for all the new applications. If you are creating a new application, by default you will be getting a standalone application. If you don't want to use that, you have to use a command ng new and project name followed by hyphen hyphen standalone is equal to false. You have to provide an option where you don't want to use the standalone. And ng module approach is still available, but Angular is recommending us to migrate to the standalone application or standalone components, where it is giving a gradual change in the performance and improvements in the application. That's why it is always recommended to go and upgrade your standalone. Now we can migrate our existing projects into standalone by using a schematic called as ng-generate@angular/core:standalone. So this automatically converts your application components into standalone components. That may be a directive, that may be a pipes, that may be components. So all them can be migrated with single command. So let me go into the next slide. Let's talk about Angular control flow. This is something which is awesome in Angular 17. So why I'm saying it is very awesome? The people who came from JavaScript or from the OOPS concepts or some programming language where they don't have understanding of UI, then for their sake it is very easy to use this syntax. This is a syntax which we have before Angular 17. Now from Angular 17 we are having @if directive flow control, where it can be used for writing our if conditions. If you see here, the same set of block I wrote with the tags, that is the previous versions, and the same set of things I wrote in a newer way. Here if you see, we used star ngif a is greater than b, else block. So whenever this a is greater than b, then a is greater than b will be displayed. In the same way we are writing in a if and else condition, how we write in JavaScript or TypeScript in a programmatic way. We can use this @if @else in our HTML itself. So that is very easy to write the code and understand the code. It is readable. So let me go into the next slide. Coming to the switch statements, this change also happened on the switch statement. Before Angular 17, we used to write our switch cases like this. Now we can write @switch, @case, @default, which will give us same like a programming language type of styles where we can use it. And let me go to the for loop. So for loop has been improved a lot, and it improved 90% faster runtime as they changed some set of algorithm whenever you are using @for. That is ng-for is changed into @for, and before, if we want to write any empty cases, that means if the array does not have anything, you should write a if condition array.length, and you have to mention that okay, if array.length is greater than 0, then loop it. If it is less than or equal to 0, then you will be showing some empty cases. But now we have something called as at the rate empty. So by using this at the rate empty, you can make your for loop. Whenever the array is empty, you can show this empty message or empty content. Let me go into the next slide. Here, coming to the control flow improvements, what they are improving more, they are trying to improve prettier support in the future release, and still they are working on some use cases where this control flow can be used on the content projection, and also still it is under developer preview mode. So now it is developer preview and you can easily go and use it. But the thing is, if you want to wait for a stable version, I think we can expect in Angular 18. And there is a command if you want to migrate your existing control flows to the new control flow, then you can use a command called as ng generate @angular /core. It is I mentioned dot, but it is /core control flow. So that is how you can use this control flow improvements. And let me go into the deferrable views. So this is also very awesome whenever you come to performance related stuff. Why? Because till now we did lazy loading only at the page level. That means whenever we are loading a page, we are doing a lazy loading on it. But did we expect anything which is section level lazy loading? That means if you are using one selector in another selector, or a component is injected into another component, and if you want to load lazily, that is not available till now. But Angular 17 is providing it by using deferrable views. By using these deferrable views, you can lazy load any particular section of your components. And Angular uses views to load on a section entering into a viewport. So you can have different blocks, and you can trigger this particular deferrable views on a particular trigger points. So the trigger points are like on a viewport you can trigger, on idle you can trigger, on a timer you can trigger, on a hover we can trigger. That means whenever you do some mouse or keyboard interactions, we can do that. And by using when clause, that means using a when condition, also we can use the feature of deferrable views. And still this is in developer preview mode, and we have some set of blocks as well, because deferrable views is something which will be loaded at a runtime. If you want to load this deferrable at a runtime, there may be an error, so you can handle that error in the error block, and you can have a placeholder until it loads, that is a placeholder block. And whenever it is loading, you can show loading block, and once the deferred block is loaded, you can show the original content. Like that, we have some set of blocks because this content will be loaded dynamically. So let me go into the next one. Server side rendering. There is very easy way of using server side rendering. Before hydration process, we used to go with Angular Universal. So that is a very big process where we have to install number of plugins and do all that stuff. But Angular 17 made it very easy, and it has improved a lot on the Angular application. Hydration is out from developer preview. That means it is stable now, and you can easily go and use it. And whenever you have an existing application, and if you want to convert that existing application, then you can use Angular/SSR, which will add the SSR feature to your existing application. And if you want to do it on your new application, then it will prompt you a question like if you want to install Angular SSR or not. So that will be prompted to you based on your selection. The application will be generated either by using SSR or without using SSR. And SSR got improved a lot, and Virgin Media O2 saw a drastic change. That means 112% increment on their sales after moving to the latest hydration along with NG optimized image. We will talk about NG optimized image in future videos, but this hydration combined with NG optimized images, that is loading the images into our application, has been improved a lot, and hence they have improved their sales around 112% by using this hydration process. So that is where Angular SSR is now a strong and a stable version. So let me go into the build process. Now they have improved the build process. They came up with white and ES builds. that is the combination of these two, and they saw a 67% of build time improvement. That means overall build time. And coming to SSR improvements, they improved around 87% whenever we give ng build. And also they have improved edit refresh loop. That means whenever we change something in the application, it automatically runs ng serve. That speed of execution has been improved at 80%. And there is no schematics to update the existing application as of now, and we can expect in the future. Default for all the new applications. If you are using a new application or if you are installing a new Angular application, the white plus ES builds will be the default build configurations. So that's about white and ES build. So this is about your Angular updates. We spoke only theoretical part, but some of them need to understand programmatically. So I'll come up with some other videos where we can do this experiments programmatically, and I'll come up with some set of examples, and we will also upgrade our existing applications into Angular 17. Hope this whole slides gave you a brief about Angular 17 updates. Hope you understand. That's about our Angular 17 updates and the features. So hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.